In the last class, we were just started the restriction endonuclease. Restriction endonuclease. Okay, before I start the endonuclease, I want to ask few questions. Just tell me where you get these plastids. Sorry, plasmids. Where you get the plasmid?
In the bacteria.
Okay, in the bacteria. What is the role of plasmid? What is the role of why these plasmids are present? Okay, what is the plasmid? What you actually call them?
It's
What
circular DNA,
the single,
which is outside.
yes, we can just call it a circular DNA just to keep easy. It's a circular DNA present in the cytoplasm. Okay. Are these plasmid DNA, you have given the name, it's a DNA. Are this plasmid DNA is different from the original DNA of the bacteria? I will repeat my question. See, this is the bacteria, okay? Prokaryote cell. This is the prokaryote cell, okay? You are saying that these are the present circular DNA present in the cytoplasm. So this is circular DNA. If you will call them the plasmids, then what about the actual DNA of bacteria? Actual DNA of bacteria.
Nucleoid.
Okay, fine. Nucleoid. What is the structure of nucleoid? How many chromosomes are present in nucleoid? Quick revision. See. Quick revision about the prokaryotes. See. This is the circular DNA of the bacteria. Remember, this is the circular DNA. Only one chromosome. Remember, only one chromosome. In humans, we have 23 pair. That is the 46 chromosomes we have in the human cell. Here only one chromosome. That too the circular DNA. And the nucleoid is the region. Okay, don't confuse with the, we never say it's a nucleoid. No, the nucleoid is the region where the DNA is present in bacteria. This region, I'm just making the outline, but there is no outline, okay? Okay, I will not make the outline, otherwise you will get the confusion will be created. This region is known as the nucleoid. Always remember, it's not the DNA, it's the region. Like in our cell, the nucleus is the structure where our DNA and RNAs are present, okay? That is known as the nucleus. But in the bacteria, there is no nucleus, means no nuclear membrane, no nucleolus, no nuclear pores, nothing is present. So what the scientists said, in the bacteria, wherever the DNA is present, this DNA, maybe it can present here, maybe it can present here, maybe it can present here, anywhere, it can be present anywhere. And the place or the region where that single circular DNA is present, that region they have given the name nucleoid. Remember this, nucleoid is not a DNA, it's a region where this circular DNA is present. Okay, now if we talk about the plasmids, you will never call that plasmids are the unique feature of prokaryotes. No, because the plasmids are present in viruses, plasmids are present in fungi, plasmids are seen in many eukaryotes also. Okay, so if the question comes, What is the unique feature of the prokaryotes? They will give you few points in which the plasmids is also a part. So you will never select the plasmid, okay? They are not the unique feature. And always remember, these plasmids are like this. Because the DNA, the double-stranded structure, so you always have to make plasmids like this, okay? Plasmids. Now, according to 11th class, the prokaryote structure, can you tell me? Okay, just a moment. Jerome is saying I'm not able to join the class. Use why the students are not reading the full message. Not you students, only the Jerome. Now you will join. See, according to 11th class, the prokaryotes. Okay, remember the 11th class cell structure and function. There, they have given the word plasmids. What is the role of the plasmid according to 11th class? Can you tell me?
Resistance to antibiotics.
Very good. They have some of the enzymes, or you can say they have some chemicals, or they have something in them which is giving them the resistance against the antibiotics. Resistance against antibiotics. This is the role of plasmids according to your 11th standard, okay? And in the 12th standard, you will be studying the further role of the plasmids, okay? Okay, everything is covered. Okay, if we are talking about the prokaryotes, just one or two things more. And I hope you remember this type of structure. Did you remember this type of structure in the prokaryotes? This type of structure? Pimla, Umehani?
Ma'am, mesosomes?
Very good. They are the mesosomes. What is the role of mesosomes? Just a quick revision about the prokaryotes. What is the reason of mesosomes? Tell me. Just think.
The cellular respiration.
Very good. They are the cellular respiration. They are doing cellular respiration. Okay. Very good. Very good. They are very important for the cellular respiration. Can you tell me any example of cellular respiration? Anything? Any example? What includes the cellular respiration? What do you think? What you will count in the cellular respiration? Think about the humans. Think about plants. Respiration.
Mitochondria.
Can you repeat? Vimla, can you repeat?
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria. No, I'm not talking about that organelle. I'm talking about the what cycles you involved in cellular respiration. What cycles? Can we say glycolysis?
Red cycle.
Can we say glycolysis?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we
Yes,
say
ma'am.
glycolysis? Yes, glycolysis. That is the glucose converted into pyruvate. Remember? Glucose is getting converted into pyruvate. And where this process is happening? This is happening in the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. The neat question has came on this topic. See, in the cellular respiration, okay, fine. See, In the cellular respiration, just a little bit of knowledge, we include 3 cycles: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain. Okay, these 3 cycles we will study in the cellular respiration. Okay, now before moving to that, can you tell me any organelle in the eukaryotes which is doing the similar function in the bacteria or similar function as a mesosomes? I will repeat my question. Just tell me any organelle in the eukaryote cells which is doing the similar function as of mesosomes.
Mitochondria.
Very good. This is the neat question. Neat question, that which organelle in the eukaryotes is doing the function of the same as of mesosomes, or you can say which organelle is responsible for doing the cellular respiration in the prokaryotes and in the eukaryotes. So in the prokaryotes, it's mesosomes. In eukaryote, it's mitochondria. Remember, M for mesosomes, M for mitochondria. Neat question has been asked that which organelle resembling the mesosomes in eukaryote. If they will talk about eukaryote, it's mitochondria. If they are asking about the prokaryotes, only mesosomes. No mitochondria are present in the prokaryotes. Okay, no mitochondria in the prokaryotes. And always remember one thing more: glycolysis take parts, or this process happen in the cytoplasm. This process happen in the cytoplasm. So prokaryotes, eukaryotes, animal cell, plant cells, any cell, any unicellular organism can easily do this, because every organism is having the cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm is the very basic thing which every cell has. So if the question will come, which organism are able to do the glycolysis, you have to say all the organism, because it's must for them, because every organism needs energy, every organism needs ATP, and ATP is formed from the glycolysis. Next thing, if we will talk about the Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain, these 2 cycles will not take place in the prokaryotes. Why? Because they don't have mitochondria, and these 2 cycles, the Krebs and the electron transport chain cycle, they are only and only take place in the mitochondria, nowhere else, only in mitochondria. You have to remember these 2 things. That's why they will always ask about the glycolysis, because students always get confused that bacteria will not do the glycolysis, because they will think that it is also taking place in the mitochondria, and they will just select the incorrect answer. You always remember these 3 cycles are, yes, part of aerobic respiration. Yes, they are the part of aerobic respiration, yes, but terms and conditions apply. Glycolysis, the first cycle, is in the cytoplasm. The Krebs cycle, lumen of the mitochondria. The electron transport chain, inner membrane of the mitochondria. So these 2 cycles in the mitochondria and rest in the cytoplasm. So bacteria, fungi, algae, human, plant, animal, dog, cat, snake, everyone can do the cytoplasm. Sorry, everyone can do the glycolysis, because they have the cytoplasm in them. Everyone. So remember these points. Okay. I think the plasmids are somewhat clear to you. We will discuss the prokaryotes again when we will finish your topic. Because now I will be moving the simultaneously 11th and 12th class syllabus. You have very less time left with you. So first is restriction endonuclease. In the last class, I was telling you the enzymes. See, very carefully, okay? First point, there are few enzymes. There are few enzymes which cut the nucleic acid. Which cut nucleic acid. Which cut nucleic acid. And these enzymes are known as the nuclease. Nuclease. Remember this enzyme. If they will ask the enzyme which cut the nucleic acid, they are not specifying RNA or DNA. If the particular nucleic acid word is coming, then you have to select the answer nuclease always. Don't go for RNAs, don't go for DNAs, because they are not specifying which nucleic acid they are asking. So it's a nuclease always. Now, the second is, if they specify enzyme which cut RNA, which cuts the RNA. Now you can select the option RNAs. I know these are the very small thing, but see, these small points have the 4 marks. So they are very important. Everything is equally important. Everything is of 4 marks. So no partiality at all. Now the third thing, if the enzyme they ask which cut DNA, now you can write or you can select its DNAs. But there is one contradictory part here. See, these enzymes are not cutting the DNA, not cutting the RNA, not cutting the nucleic acid. They are destroying them. Okay? They are destroying them. Like in the last class, we talked about the lipase, amylase, protease, and etc. What was the role? We are just giving those enzymes to destroy them so that we can just select our DNA. So these enzymes are particularly destroying the things. They are not cutting. Okay. So instead of cutting, I can also write they are just destroying. They are just destroying. Okay. But we need the cutting enzyme. We need the enzyme which can cut the DNA according to us, okay, according to our requirement. So on the basis of that, they have distributed this enzyme into 2 parts. Now this enzyme of the DNA, remember the DNA enzyme is of 2 parts, the exonuclease and the endonuclease. These are the 2 enzymes. Now, what the exonuclease is doing, I told you in the last class, if this is our DNA, what they will do? They will start removing the nucleotide sequence from the ends. From the ends, always remember, from the end, they will start removing the nucleotide sequence. That can be any end for which this enzyme is specific for, okay? Enzymes have some specificity, remember? Like the DNA. The DNA is specific for the DNA. If you will put DNAs in the RNA, nothing will happen because they are just for the DNA. They know what to do with the DNA. But if you will put the RNA, nothing will happen because that enzyme has no specificity for the RNA. So same case. The nuclease enzyme, they knows from where they have to work. They know the 3' end and they know the 5' end. So there are the many enzymes which will select 3'. There are many enzymes which will start their work from 5'. So it's nothing difficult. Okay, so only what you have to remember, the exonucleus will start their work from the end of the DNA. Okay, from the end, they will start removing the nucleotide sequences one by one. Now, what is the endonuclease? See, endonuclease is the enzyme which we use many times. This is our DNA molecule. Endonuclease, what they will do? They will cut DNA from or in between like this. Like this. They will cut like this in between. And this type of enzyme is known as restriction endonuclease. Till now it's clear? Any doubt till now? Please ask me if you have any doubt in the prokaryotes, plasmid, mesosomes, the circular DNA in the prokaryotes, the mitochondria, the Krebs cycle, the glycolysis, electron transport chain, and this. Any doubt, any confusion till now?
No.
Okay, fine.
No,
So
ma'am.
now next we will see actually from where we got this restriction endonuclease. Okay, it's a very interesting story. From where we got this restriction endonuclease? From where? As we were talking about the prokaryotes, so I thought first to talk about the prokaryotes, then moving towards the specific role of the restriction endonuclease. See, this is the prokaryote, okay? It is the cell of prokaryote. Now, what is happening? They have the circular DNA. And this region where the circular DNA is present is known as the nucleus. It is of one chromosome and that to the circular. Okay, clear. Now, what is happening? See, the viruses, they are very bad pathogens. Okay, they can just stick to any cell and they will just leave or insert their genetic material. So see, suppose this bacteria got infected with the virus. This bacteria got infected with the virus. Okay, this is the prokaryotic cell, this is the prokaryotic DNA, and this is the virus. Now this bacteria got infected with the virus. What virus will do? They have the DNA in them and they will just leave their DNA into the prokaryotes. Okay, now the viral DNA is present into the prokaryotes. I will write. It's a virus DNA. The virus DNA, and it is the prokaryote circular DNA. You can say the bacterial DNA. Okay. Now the virus has attached themselves to the bacteria. Now the bacteria is in danger. Bacteria know now I will be dead. Nothing can be happened. Okay, nothing. No one can save me. But now there is a twist. Listen very carefully. When the virus releases its own genetic material in the bacteria, then bacteria release some dangerous enzymes. Listen very carefully. When the virus enters or leave or insert their genetic material into the bacteria, then after that, bacteria release some dangerous enzyme. So we will make the dangerous enzyme. This is the dangerous enzyme. See. This is the dangerous enzyme. released by bacteria. Released by bacteria after the viral DNA get inserted into the bacteria. What is this enzyme? This enzyme is the restriction endonuclease enzyme. This enzyme is nothing. This is the restriction endonuclease enzyme. This enzyme is the restriction endonuclease. The dangerous enzyme is the restriction endonuclease. Now you will think what the restriction endonuclease will do. Why? They have to protect themselves from the viral DNA and the restriction endonuclease has been produced. What is the use of the production of restriction endonuclease? See, now the actual part begins. This restriction endonuclease have ability to cut the DNA. Okay, we have saw just now the endonucleases, they have ability to cut the DNA, right? They cut the DNA. They have this specificity for the DNA so that they can cut the DNA from between. So now this demon or this dangerous enzyme knows this is the DNA and I have to cut it, because these enzymes are specific for cutting the DNA. So what they will do? They will just go near to bacteria, near to viral DNA, and they will just cut the DNA. What happened? The viral DNA got destroyed. This happened to the viral DNA. The viral DNA broken into the pieces, cut by the restriction endonuclease, the molecular scissor. They have ability to cut the DNA. But now there's a problem. This enzyme don't know that this is my DNA or this is the foreign DNA. They don't know this. They only know they have to cut the DNA. Now the problem is, once they will finish their work here, they are the demons. So now they will start moving towards here, because they don't know that this is their own DNA. No, they don't know this. They only know my role. If I am produced, my role is to cut the DNA, and whatever DNA will come, I will cut all the DNA. Okay, only this is known, or this much information is present in the restriction endonuclease. So what will happen? They will cut this DNA also. Then if this DNA will be cut down, then the bacteria will die. Of course, their chromosomes is dead now. Nothing can be happen. So what will happen here? See, I told you they cut the DNA. Okay, when they cut the DNA, listen very carefully. Restriction endonuclease do not cut the DNA from anywhere. Okay, they have the specific sequence. Okay, they have specific sequence. For example, this enzyme loves the sequence which is starting like this, CCG. Okay, they love this sequence. Okay, they are their favorite sequence. Okay, and when they will reach the viral DNA, wherever they get this sequence, CCGG, because the nucleus, the DNA is not small. Okay, it's not this much small that this sequence will not present on the DNA. Okay, the DNA is the huge, the large. Okay, the DNA are very big in size. So this sequence are present repeatedly in the DNA. Okay, and wherever this sequence is present, wherever, okay, on the DNA, wherever this sequence is present, they will cut the DNA from that part. Okay, wherever this sequence, for example, okay, for example, wherever this sequence are present on the DNA, maybe 1,000 times the sequence is present, maybe 100 times the sequence is present, maybe. So the enzyme will cut the DNA from that part. Okay, viral DNA story is over. Now the DNA is dead. The viral DNA is dead. Now the enzyme is coming towards its own DNA. What will happen? These DNA is also having this sequence. Okay, it's not possible that only viral DNA will have this sequence. DNA is DNA. All are made up of nucleotide. Okay, ATGC. All DNAs in this universe are made up of ATGC, the nucleotide, purines and the pyrimidines. Okay, so this sequence will be present in this DNA also. Like suppose they are present here, they are present here. Suppose, okay, they are present here, they are present here, here, here. Suppose this group is present at all the blue points which I have marked. Okay, all the blue points contain this group where the enzyme will cut the DNA. Now what the bacteria will do? Twist. Bacteria, DNA, bacteria is so smart. Okay, if he is producing this enzyme to kill the foreign DNA, how can he let to kill himself? So what he will do? He will modify its DNA. Modification will happen in its own DNA. How? They will just add the methyl group like this, CH3, 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 CH3. Like this, the methyl group will be added on those sequence. Like this. Wherever that this sequence is present, which is recognized by the restriction endonuclease, they will add the methyl group. That's it. The DNA modification done. Now the enzyme will not recognize any sequence. Not recognize any sequence. See, if the sequence are present like this, PC, GG, PC, GG, okay, they can cut from here, they can cut from here. Okay, so what they will do? Just imagine from this is the nucleus strand, okay, nucleotides, this is the DNA strand, okay. They will just add the methyl group, CH3, CH3. Anywhere they can add, even they can add here, CH3, CH3. Methylation can happen, okay. The DNA can do the methylation. You don't have to worry how this happen, how they will join, which bond will form. No, nothing. You don't have to study all this. You have to study that DNA can undergo the process of methylation. Methylation. It is known as the DNA modification. DNA modification. And after these groups have been added, see, now the structure is changed. Now the enzyme will get confused. Yeah, I know this is the recognition site, but from where this methyl group is present, that means this is not my site. So enzyme will be confused like this. So they will not cut the DNA. The DNA is safe now. And this is known as the restriction modification system. This is known as the restriction modification system, which was given in the year 1963. 1963. Any doubt? Please go through this diagram, and if you want, you can make the diagram. Just please understand this is the very important part. Okay, they can ask many questions on this. Okay, why the DNA is undergoing the methylation? Why? Because they have to save them from its own restriction endonuclease. Okay, and next question: how the restriction endonuclease is working on the viral DNA? They know the recognition sites. They have their specific sites from there. They can cut the DNA. What is the restriction modification system? The restriction modification system is when the DNA is getting modified. Remember, restriction modification, nothing we have to do with this virus DNA. Okay, now no modification has been done. Only the modification part is here. So restriction modification system is when the prokaryotes DNA will modify themselves by adding the methyl group on the restriction endonuclease recognition sites so that the restriction endonuclease enzyme cannot recognize their sequence and the DNA is protected from being cut by the enzyme. Make this diagram. Please make this diagram properly, okay? Make everything, every detail in properly, please. It's an important part. Let me know when you finish.
Ma'am, done.
Done, okay? Nimla, Jerome, Kishore, done?
Done, ma'am.
See, just open the page number 196 in your readers. Just open the page number 196. We will read a small paragraph about the restriction endonuclease enzyme, which is present in your readers, okay? Page number 196, the second paragraph, this one. The second paragraph from here. Please open this. See what they are saying. The restriction enzymes belong to a larger class of enzymes known as the nucleases, okay? We just talk about the nucleases. That to the DNA, because only on the DNA they are working, okay? So we have concluded this in the DNA portion. These are of two kinds, the exonucleases and the endonucleases, okay? The exonucleases remove nucleotide from the end of the DNA. I told you. Whereas the endonuclease may cut at the specific position within the DNA, okay? And the within. Mark this paragraph. Next thing which we have to see, okay, just a little bit more of introduction then. Okay, see here. Restriction endonuclease. See. In the last class, I told you there are the two types of transfer. Remember, one is the direct transfer. One is the direct transfer. And second is the indirect transfer. So can you tell me what was included in the indirect transfer?
Ma'am, and indirect vectors are involved.
No. One specific thing I told you. What was involved in the indirect transfer? Did I told you the vectors?
Isolation and fragmentation.
Vectors. Remember the word vector. That car in which the
Yes.
DNA is sitting and entering into the other organism. Remember the vector? Remember this word, Vimla?
Yes, ma'am.
Always remember vector, the car in which the DNA will sit and reach the avenue in just a moment. And if he will walk, he will be reaching the avenues in around 3 to 4 hours. Direct. So indirect is better. Sit in the car and just reach, enter into the other organism. The vector, okay. So what are the vectors here? Can you tell me anything? Any example? We have seen lot of things till now.
Plasmid.
Very good. Plasmids. These plasmids work as a vector. Transferring agents. They are the agents. They can carry the DNA or gene in themselves, and then this can be put into the bacteria. How we are putting the DNA into E. coli? How? Now we will see how we are putting the gene, our specific gene into the E. coli. But before that, this is the second role, second function you are learning about the plasmids. Second function. First, they were involved in the protection against the antibiotics, okay? Protection against the vaccinations or the antibodies, you can say anything. They are giving the protection to the bacteria. Second, they are working as a vector molecules. They are the vector. Always remember vector as a car, okay? Transferring agent which will hold the things and can transfer. The delivery boy. You order pizza. Then the delivery boy will come and drop the pizza, right? That was the one organism which is making the pizza. And you are the other organism which is eating the pizza. Who is delivering? The vector is doing that work. Vector is having the pizza, which is taking from one organism, that is the pizza shop, putting in his bag and riding the scooter, riding the car, and then delivering to you. You are the other organism. The vector, the plasmids are the courier boy, delivery guy. They are having the pizza, that is, they are having the DNA, the gene of interest, the pizza, your food of interest, pizza, your food of interest, burger, whatever your food of interest. Imagine that is the DNA, which is my gene of interest, which I have to put into the bacteria for their production. For example, insulin. So always remember, you are now studying the other role of the plasmids here. Now, see. Okay. Students, try to keep on revising, okay? If you will not revise, I don't know what will happen then. See, this is our naked DNA, okay? Purified DNA. This is our purified DNA. And I know that this is my gene of interest, okay? My gene of interest, okay? My gene of interest. And I will just extract this gene, okay? How we will extract? I will make you understand after this, that gel electrophoresis, okay? That technique is known as the gel electrophoresis. See, now I will extract this gene of interest with the help of the gel electrophoresis. Don't get confused. This is the technique in which we are extracting our DNA. But at present, we are studying the cutting of DNA. This is the whole DNA which is purified form. Okay, spooling has been done. After the spooling, what is doing? This is the after spooling. After spooling, this DNA will be mixed with the restriction endonuclease. Okay, restriction endonuclease. Now the restriction endonuclease will cut the DNA like this, and in between I have my gene of interest too. Okay, now I will tell you in very brief. Okay, then we will move forward. After this, we will run these DNA into the gel electrophoresis, and we will get our desired gene of interest. Okay, that's the other story. See, now this restriction endonuclease will cut the DNA. Fine. DNA has been cut. Okay. Now we have the bacteria here. They are the plasmids, circular, double-stranded DNA. Okay. We will take out the plasmids. We will take out the plasmids. Now what will happen? We have to cut the plasmid also. How our gene of interest will attach to the plasmid? How? We have to open the plasmid also. Then only something will fit. Okay, if you have to fit something in the other box, you have to cut the box and then only you will fit like this. You have to cut this part, or you can say any part. You can fit any part. Okay, I am saying that I have to cut this part. Then I will cut this part like this. Then only my gene of interest will sit like this. Then only. In this, you cannot just fix my gene of interest. Okay, this has to take place. So for this, the cutting of plasmid has to take place. Now the question is, listen, I am saying that this restriction endonuclease, which is cutting our DNA, listen very carefully. I am saying this restriction endonuclease, which is cutting our DNA, so that we can get the gene of interest, so that we can get our desired gene of interest. So I am saying we have to use that same restriction endonuclease enzyme on the plasmid. Okay, I will repeat. Suppose we have used the restriction endonuclease enzyme A on our DNA, human DNA. Okay, and I am telling you that Vimla, Umehani, the same restriction endonuclease A we will use on the plasmids. Okay, the same endonuclease restriction we will use on the plasmids. The same enzyme A, which is the restriction endonuclease enzyme A. This is true? You think this is true? I'm saying correct, or maybe no. What do you think? We can use the same enzymes in cutting our DNA and the plasmids. Can we use?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, the next question is, why do we need the same endonuclease to cut the gene of interest and the plasmids? Why we need the same enzyme? Why?
Ma'am, so that it can,
Because
the code same, it will apply here and cut at the exact same position so that it can join back again.
very good. Because I will tell you, restriction endonuclease, I have told you that they have this specific sequence where they cut. Okay, the specific sequence. Now we will see the sequence. What is the sequence? That sequence is known as the palindrome sequence. Palindrome sequence. Listen very carefully. You will definitely get question on this. The palindrome sequence. What is the palindrome sequences? Palindrome sequence. If you will read from here, CCCGGG. If you will read from here, CCCGGG. If you will read from 3 prime, G, 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 C, C, C. If you will read from here, the 3 prime, G, 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 C, C, C. It's the same. It's the same. See, in your book, they have given the example Malayalam. 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 If you will read from here, it's Malayalam. Malayalam. From where you will read, either from this side or from this side, the things are same. Things are same. That is known as the palindrome sequence. If you will read from this prime end, they will be sounding C, 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 G, G, G. If you will read from this end, they will sounding the C, 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 G, G, G. If you will read from 3 prime end, G, 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 C, C, C. If you will read from this prime end 3, G, 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 C, C, C. So they are the exact copies, or if you will read from any side, they will be sounding the same. So those sequence are known as the palindrome sequence. Now what question you will get on these sequence? They will give you the sequence, okay? They will give you a sequence. And now you have to search which is the palindrome sequence. Which is the palindrome sequence. See, I will show you one more sequence. See, the one sequence is G, GAA, T, T, C. GAA, TTC. GAA, TTC. So, GAA, TTC. Another palindrome sequence. If you will read from this end, GAA, TTC, that is the 5 prime end, and this is the 3 prime end, and this is the 5 prime end, and this is the 3 prime end. Now, read from this side, GAA, TTC. Now read from 3 prime end, CTT, AAG. Now read from this side, CTT, AAG. Same sequence. These sequences are known as the palindrome sequence. So they can give you the sequence and you have to select the palindrome. See, I know it is looking very simple, but they can easily trick you in this, okay? They can easily trick you, okay? They can give any mistake. Maybe instead of G, they will write C. And in the hurry, you will not see the C. So you have to be very careful when you select the palindrome sequence. Everything has to be as it is. If you are reading from any end, 5 prime from the above, 5 prime from the down, 3 prime, 3 prime. Any prime, you have to be of the same sequence. See, the 5 prime in the above strand, the 3 prime, the 3 prime. These are the same, known as the palindrome sequence. Is the palindrome sequence is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Umehani?
Yes,
Umehani? Jerem? Okay, Kishore is not in the class.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now why I told you this sequence? Why I have told you about the palindrome sequence? Because the restriction inhibitors are very high-fi enzymes, okay? They are the very choosy ones. Okay? They don't just cut the DNA like this. They need the palindrome sequence. Restriction endonuclease always cut the DNA at the palindrome sequence. Fix in your brain. Restriction endonuclease will never cut the DNA from anywhere. Yes, they cut the DNA from anywhere in between, but wherever they are cutting, that is the 100,000% sure. It's a palindrome sequence only, because the restriction endonuclease will never cut the DNA from anywhere. They need the palindrome sequence. So you have to make this in your brain. Restriction endonuclease is cutting the DNA. That means the palindrome sequence is present there. Okay, see now. Okay, now we will talk about the other part. See. For example, I have told you G, 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 C, C, C. C, 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 G, G, G. Okay. This is the palindrome sequence. Now we have to use the restriction endonuclease. See. The restriction endonuclease, what will do? They will see, okay, this is my recognition site. I have to work here. So what they will do? They will cut the DNA like this. They will cut the DNA like this. So now what will happen? The next part will happen where G, 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 P, C, C. P prime and the 5 prime. C, 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 P prime, G, 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 5 prime. DNA has been cut by the restriction endonuclease. And see, if you see this type of pattern where the restriction endonuclease has cut the end without any problem, just single cut, and DNA is divided into two parts. Okay, the clean cut, we say it's a very clean, neatly done, clean cut. And this type of things and this type of structure or this type of pattern done by the restriction endonuclease are known as the blunt ends. Blunt end. Blunt end, or you can say flush end. Flush end. If you get the question, the restriction endonuclease is cutting like this. Okay, if you will see the proper, the neat and clean cutting in between the DNA sequence, and they are asking which type of end is present now after cutting by the restriction endonuclease. The answer is blunt end. Or if you don't see the option blunt, you will see the flush end. You have to remember these two words. See, and they will be paired. Always remember, they will be paired. They are the paired parts. Okay. See, this neat and clean cut. Neat and clean. Cut by the endonuclease are known as the blunt end and the flush end. Any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No.
Okay, now there is one very famous restriction endonuclease which you will listen whole of your life. Okay, if you will do research, PhD, or any research paper you will write in your life, if you are working on the human body or in the bacteria, anywhere you are working, okay, you will be listening this enzyme throughout your life. That is known as the EcoRI. Okay, it's sounding very weird. It's EcoR1 or EcoRI. Okay, this is the enzyme. EcoR1 you can say, or EcoRI. EcoRI. It's not any foreign name. Okay, it's a very simple EcoRI. Okay. Now, what this enzyme is doing? This is the name of restriction endonuclease. Restriction endonuclease name of enzyme. Name of enzyme. What this enzyme is doing? See, all the restriction endonuclease enzyme love palindrome sequence. So we will not change the palindrome sequence. This is the basic thing about the restriction endonuclease. Now we have G, A, T, T, T. T, 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 A, G. 5 prime, 3 prime, 3 prime, 5 prime. Okay. See, this is the sequence of the EcoRI. You have to remember this sequence. Okay. If I can remember this sequence, then you can easily remember because you are learning. I left my 12th. Again, the old story. It's like the welcome movie. They keep on repeating the same dialogue, and all. See, I have done my 12th in the 2007. So if I can remember, you can remember. Okay, see, this is the GAATTC and the same. Okay, if you will remember the one thing GAATTC, the next is the very easy. You don't have to remember everything. See, this is the sequence which is recognized by the EcoRI, and that's the actual sequence. Okay, actually this sequence is observed or recognized by the EcoRI enzyme, that is the restriction endonuclease. So what this enzyme is doing, this is very, very like, you know, a Jeeves enzyme. See, they will cut from here. They will cut from here. And they will cut from here. Observe it very carefully. Let me rub this part. See. They are cutting parts from after the G here and after the G here. So what they are getting, see, now they are left with this type of structure, 5 prime, G, A, P, T, P, 3 prime. And 3 prime here, it's T, which is bonding with G, T, T, A. And here is the G. See, 5 prime. Can you see the cutting? Can you see now these are having no bonding with anyone, okay? See, I will make it again. They are like this. 5 prime, G, C, 3 prime. It's T, T, A, 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 T, T, C. This type of structure, okay? I think you will get confused. They are not bonding with each other. See, only the G and C are left with the bonding with each other, and here only G and C left with the bonding each other. Rest TTAA and AATT here are no bonding, okay? They are now left without any bond formation, okay? And this type of ends, which is done by the EcoRI, are known as the sticky ends. They are known as sticky ends. Sticky ends. Now listen very carefully. Let me see the time. Okay, we have time. See, why this is known as the sticky end? Because see, the DNA is always double-stranded molecule. Okay, they need the bonds between them. The nucleotides cannot stay alone because it's a very stable compound, right? The RNA is not that stable because it's a single bond, single-stranded, but the DNA is the double-stranded molecule. And it's a very stable molecule. They need the partner to be stable. Now the partners are not there. They are very much excited to attach to someone. Okay, they are very excited. Please, I want the partner. Give me the partner. So whenever they see any base pairing, they will attach to that. Wherever they will say their base pairing, remember base pairing, they will never stick anywhere. Okay, only the base pairing is required. Okay, the T will always base pair with the A, and A will always base pair with the T. So wherever they will see this sequence, they will stick to that sequence. That's why they are these sticky ends, very excitable ends. Okay, very excited to get stick wherever they will say, wherever they will see their base pairs. That's why they are known as the sticky ends. And this sticky end is produced by only enzyme EcoRI. Any doubt? Any doubt?
No.
So you will remember which enzyme is producing sticky end and which is producing the blunt ends.
Yes.
I will tell you the examples of blunt end too. Don't worry. But here the sticky ends, why we are discussing, because I have to tell you how we will transfer our gene of interest into the vector. Okay. So now you know how these ends and how the restriction endonuclease is working. Okay, this part is clear till now. Jerome, any doubt?
No,
Jerome, any
ma'am.
doubt? Okay, no man. Okay, fine. So now I think I will stop this class because next I have to start the gel electrophoresis. Okay, that is the another topic. And after the gel electrophoresis, we will see how we transfer our gene of interest into the vector. Revise this part, okay? And in the next class, we will talk about the other restriction in the nucleus. I think you don't have to go in detail for any endonucleases except the EcoRI. Let me check. Yes, open your readers. Let us read the palindromic sequences. Page number 196, just below that paragraph. See, each restriction endonuclease function by inspecting the length of DNA sequence. Yes, because they have to cut the DNA sequence, so they have to inspect. Once it finds its specific recognition site, it will bind to the DNA and cut each of 2 strands of double DNA. Remember, they will be cutting the both of strands. Okay, don't take only the one strand. They are cutting from the both strands. Mark this line. Once it finds its specific recognition sequence, it will bind to the DNA and cut each of 2 strands of the double helix at a specific point in their sugar phosphate backbones. Circle this word. Circle this word, sugar phosphate backbone. You have to remember that bonds are known as the sugar phosphate backbone. See, these full bonds are known as the sugar phosphate bonds because they are attached to the nucleotide sequence, and that is known as the sugar phosphate bonds. Or you can say backbone. Next is, each restriction endonuclease recognizes a specific palindromic nucleotide sequence in the DNA. Palindromic sequence. Now, just after the figure, do you know what the palindromes are? These are the group of letters that form the same word when read both forward and the backward. Example, the Malayalam. Against a word palindrome where the same word is read in both the direction, the palindrome in the DNA is a sequence. Mark this line. The palindrome in DNA is a sequence of base pair that reads same on the 2 strands when orientation is reading is kept same. Orientation means if you are reading from 5 prime, in the other strand, you have to read from 5 prime. If in the first strand, you are reading from 3 prime, and in the other end, you have to read from the 3 prime end. Now, for example, the following sequence reads the same as 2 strands in 5 prime to 3 prime direction. Okay, G8, etc. This is the EcoRI they are giving you. Okay, they are giving you the EcoRI. See, next thing we will see. Okay, next we will not read because I have to make you understand first. You know the sticky ends now because of the EcoRI. They are cutting and they are producing the sticky ends. So we will not discuss this further. Because after that, they are telling you the whole structure. Okay, see, just turn the page number 195. Page number 195. In the year 1963, the 2 enzymes responsible for restricting the growth of bacteriophage, the E. coli, were isolated. One of these added the methyl group to DNA, while the other cut the DNA. Later was called as the restriction endonuclease. See, that's why I told you the whole story, what is happening. Methyl group added means they saved their DNA. Methyl group not added, bacteria will be killed. And why they are calling the bacteriophage? When the virus will insert their DNA into the bacteria, now they will produce the bacteriophage. If the bacteriophage are not produced by the bacteria even after they have inserted their DNA into the bacteria, that means the restriction endonuclease has chopped the viral DNA and they are not effective anymore. And if they are producing the bacteriophage, that means the restriction endonuclease was not able to cut the viral DNA. So they are saying this thing, nothing else. Okay. Okay, hint 2, HIN2, we will study in the next class. And also we will see, okay, just see the last paragraph. Yes, the last paragraph of this passage. The convention for naming this enzyme is the first letter of the name comes from the genus, and the second letter comes from the species, the prokaryotic cell, from which they are isolated. So EcoRI came from Escherichia coli RY13. So now you will remember from where this EcoRI is coming. The letter R is derived from the name of the strain. Okay, name of the strain. The Roman number following the name indicates the order. Nothing will be asked. So it's Bikar. Nothing will be asked on this. No one will ask from where this name E. coli or EcoRI has arrived. Okay, they have many more important things to ask. So now today we will just close the class, finish the class. Now in the next we have to study the electrophoresis, and then we will see what are the role of the sticky ends, why we use this type of enzymes. Okay, please students revise. Okay, if you will not revise in next class, I will be asking the questions first. Clear this part? Clear everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and please ask the doubts. Okay, don't just sit down in the class because you have to sit down in the class. No, just ask the doubts, as many as doubts. Okay, then thank you so much. Have a good day, all of you. Bye. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all of you.